Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Wednesday, it's April 8th, and it is 3:33 in the a.m. Normally, when I'm posting on some personal stuff. I'm posting on some life stuff. And today, I'm in pretty much of a somber mood, and I'm posting on some real, real life stuff that we need to pay attention to. Now, I've been told I've been divisive. I've been told I've been racist. I've been told I've been a bunch of different things other than what is true. I want us to pay attention to some things that are deeply ingrained in us as a people, as a collective group of beings. Yes, there are some cultural differences, and I talk about those things that we refuse to have conversation about. But nothing is any more real right now than the fact that we have a leader that, for lack of a better term, I believe this is a clinical diagnosis, and I say that with every bit of sarcasm intended. The clinical diagnosis is batshit crazy. Yes, I did say all those words. That being said, this man has done what I believe to be irreversible damage to the image and the definition of Christianity, the image and the definition of democracy. And, this is the banner that the people who voted for him are flying under. America. Unfortunately, the majority of America now spells it with 3 Ks. But the allies that we've made over our years of existence, the allies that supported us and vice versa in times of war, in times of battle, in times of right and justice. And I put those in quotes because we can justify almost anything as we see now. But there's damage being done, serious damage being done. So much so that several of the allied countries have locked down their airspace to the U.S. and Israel. Now, we've had Zionist thinking for forever, and I'm not going to speak out against that because I consider myself a Christian. You may not, but I know who and what I am, and I'm very self-aware. But what's happening now in this line of thinking, we're quick to call other countries monsters and point fingers about dictatorship. And we're flying under the flag of insanity. I'm not going to be cutesy about it. I'm not going to try to make this humorous. I'm speaking my heart's conviction. This is some ugly stuff. And we are consistently perpetually, let me put it that way, showing our bigotry and our hatred. But we want to talk about love and God's love. You know, you have to think about how we are perverting and mutating Scripture and the true meaning of, I want to say, Christianity, Christ worship, Christ following, Christ teaching, to meet our needs by cherry picking and applying faulty extra and eisegesis to whatever line of Scripture we're using to justify whatever it is that we're doing. And still preaching and teaching from a place of judgment and with the lie of kumbaya on our lips and on our actions. Now, you've heard me repeatedly say I'm divorcing my religion. And there's so many songs that I remember growing up singing, Kumbaya being one of them. And another is, have you got good religion? Man, we sang that. That was for the evening worship service, where it usually started off a cappella with the hand stomps and the hand claps and the foot stomps. Examine your faith and ask yourself, does my walk line up with my talk? You heard me say the other day, the reason we have certain denominations in our religious practices is because of racism. Look it up. Look it up. If the disciples were alive today, the U.S. would have most likely been flooded with letters of chastisement, and the warnings that we're doling out to people today. We need to heed. We can't see a speck when we have, clear visual obstruction.